Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump's government shutdown. Democratic leadership and rank and file seem to be warming to the idea of letting Trump shut down the government. But there's apparently a nagging feeling in the back of the minds of some of those in Congress. They feel somehow they'll catch the blame for the government shutting down. A Democratic insider reportedly said, quote, "I can't tell you if it's going to be a good play or a bad play on shutting it down." Let's be clear on something. The Republican Party controls the House, the Senate, the presidency, and the Supreme Court. The Democratic Party isn't shutting down the government. They can't. They're allowing Republican dysfunction to shut down the government rather than be a party to the dysfunction. Period. Democrats need to stop acting like they're choosing to shut down the government. They aren't. They're choosing to refuse to play along with bad policy. That's literally their job. This is only even a conversation because Republicans still haven't delivered on an actual budget. That's why we're talking about a continuing resolution. Schumer said, quote, "Donald Trump would rather shut down the government than even talk to Democrats about lowering the cost of health care for Americans." Jeffries said, quote, "It's the Republicans' shutdown. We're fighting for the health care of the American people." At least that's directing the blame for this where it needs to be. Again, the Democratic Party isn't responsible for the Republican Party convincing themselves that they have a mandate when they have some of the smallest majorities in history. The Democratic Party isn't responsible for Trump spending all of the time working out a budget reconciliation package and not delivering an actual budget. The Democratic Party isn't responsible for Republicans acting like entitled teenagers, trying to negotiate a curfew by simply saying, "I do what I want." The Democratic Party keeps trying to negotiate in good faith. Even now, they're asking for a meeting with Trump to talk about how harmful his healthcare policies are. It doesn't seem like they understand that jacking up insurance rates and throwing people off wasn't an oversight. It was the plan. Trump said, quote, "We have to get Republican votes. That's all." Then, when he was told he would need Democratic votes, he said, quote, "No, we're going to do probably a continuing resolution, or we're going to do something. So, we're going to do something." Now it turns out he needs more than Republican votes on the continuing resolution. That's not the Democratic Party's fault either. If the Democratic Party is worried about being blamed for the shutdown and the inevitable effects of Republican stonewalling, I have some questions. If you are unable to explain that government policy, or the lack thereof, is the responsibility and/or fault of the party that controls the House, the Senate, the presidency, and the Supreme Court, maybe politics isn't for you. The American people aren't incapable of understanding the concept of a majority. They've seen Trump enact policy after policy over Democratic objections. They know who's responsible. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.